Hi everyone, my name is Himchan Bae, and discovering Silla is my topic for the podcast. Here, here I go. Is Act One. Uh, the unified Silla was a Korean kingdom that exists from 668 to 935 CE. It was formed when the Silla Kingdom, one of the three kingdoms of Korea, conquered the kingdom of Baekje and Goguryeo, and became the first dynasty to unify the Korean peninsula. During this period, Korean culture really flourished, and Buddhism became the dominant religion. The kingdom also developed a sophisticated uh, administrative system and a strong military that allowed them to maintain its power and influence in the region. Uh, Silla also was very active in trade. They exported silk, paper, ginseng, and other luxury goods, while importing Chinese silk, ceramics, and metalworks. Trade was primarily conducted by sea, with Silla ships traveling as far as Southeast Asia and the Middle East. The kingdom also established diplomatic relations with China and Japan, which brought further economic benefits through tribute and gift exchange. Um, so the country was eventually overthrown by the Goryeo dynasty about uh, 300 years later. Mm, Despite its relatively short existence, the unified Silla had a significant impact on Korean history and culture, and its legacy can still be seen in Korea, in the city of Gyeongju. So during this period in Korea, the social hierarchy was structured based on the traditional Confucianism principles of merit and seniority. The hierarchy consisted of four main classes: the ruling aristocracy, the bureaucratic elite, and the commoners and the slaves. Uh, at the top of the social hierarchy were ruling aristocracy, or the bone rank nobility, who are born into noble families and held heri uh, and they many titles and the land. Um, the bone rank nobility was divided into four classes as well, with the highest being the royal family and the lowest being the petty nobles. The bone rank nobility held political power and control over the economy, and they were exempt from the taxes and military service. Below the bone rank nobility were the bureaucratic elite, who are appointed to government positions based on merit, education rather than birth. These positions included the prime ministers, governors, and other high-ranking officials. Uh, this class were highly educated and had power to influence uh, government policies. Uh, the commoners made up the third class of the hierarchy. They were farmers, artisans, merchants who had to pay taxes and serve military. Although they had some social mobility and could um, possibility with uh, move up to the hierarchy through education and achievement, they were generally considered to be a lower status than the ruling uh, above two classes. At the bottom of social hierarchy were the slaves, who were mostly prisoners of war or who people who could not pay off their debts. Slaves had no social status or rights and were considered property of their owners. So each classes, they were the different colors of clothes, as you can see uh, on the on the table right here, it represents the color of the clothing they wear. Uh, and the Buddhism in Silla. The Buddhism was the main religion in Silla. Uh, it was introduced to Korean Peninsula during the Three Kingdoms period, and the Silla was the first of three kingdoms to fully embrace this religion. In the 6th century, King Popeng officially adopted Buddhism as the state religion, and it quickly became the fundamental part of the Silla's identity. During this period, Buddhism continued to flourish, and the kingdom became a center of Buddhist scholarship and practice. Many important Buddhist temples and monasteries were constructed during this time, including Bulguksa and Sokuram Grotto. They are UNESCO World Heritage Sites now. The monks from the Silla traveled to other parts in East Asia, to China and Japan, and to learn and teach the lessons of Buddha. Silla's relationship with Buddhism was complex. However, while the religion was widely embraced by ruling elites and the population at large, there were also periods of conflict between the state and the Buddhist establishment. For example, in the late 8th and early 9th centuries, there were a series of persecutions of Buddhists by Silla state, which were driven in part of concerns about the political power wielded by the Buddhist clergy. Despite these conflicts, Silla's contribution to the development and the spread of Buddhism in East Asia was significant. And the kingdom's Buddhist heritage remains as an important part of Korean culture, even up to now. Architecture. Yeah, so this is the major part of my presentation. So Sokuram Grotto is a cave temple located on the slopes of Hohamsan in Gyeongju, South Korea. It was built during this period by Kim Dae-sung. So the construction of Sokuram began in 751 CE, and it was completed after 23 years later. The cave temple was constructed by carving granite rock faces to create a central chamber and surrounding corridor. The construction was very challenging and required the use of sophisticated engineering techniques to prevent the rock from the collapsing. Workers used the chisels and hammers to carve out the intricate details of the cave temple. Interior of the temple was adorned with beautiful and intricate Buddhist sculptures and reliefs, including this 3.5 meter tall Buddha statue in the main chamber. So the purpose of Sokuram was to enshrine the Buddha's relics and to provide a place of Buddhist worship. Kim Dae-sung, he was a very devout Buddhist, wanted to build temple that would not only honor the Buddha, but also showcase the achievements of the kingdom of Silla. The temple was also built to promote the spread of Buddhism and to establish the authority of the Silla kingdom. The site was mostly used by monks and the pilgrims as a place of spiritual practice and contemplation. The location of Sokuram is very high in the mountain, overlooking the sea. also reflects the importance of natural setting for Buddhist practice in Korea. So many other temples in Korea has very similar geographical background. So the grotto was likely used for many years as a place of worship and pilgrimage before falling into disuse and being abandoned for centuries. The Sokuram's layout is divided into three parts: the antechamber, the main chamber, and the Buddha chamber. The antechamber is a small rectangular shaped room located at the entrance of the grotto. It is approximately 3.5 meters wide and 1.8 meters deep and 1.6 meters high. The antechamber is also known as the vestibule of heaven and the earth. It has three arched entrance that symbolize the entrance to the world of Buddhism. The walls of the antechamber are adorned with the intricate carvings of dragons, lotus flowers, and other Buddhist symbols. The main chamber, also known as the Chamber of Four Heavenly Kings, is located beyond the antechamber. It is a squared shaped room measuring approximately 6.8 meters wide and 6.8 meters deep. The ceiling of the main chamber is dome shaped, and it is covered with the lotus flower design. The walls of the main chamber are adorned with the 40 relief sculptures of Buddhist figures. The Buddha chamber, also known as Chamber of Ultimate Bliss, is located beyond the main chamber. It is a circular shaped room, measures approximately 3.3 meters in diameter. The Buddha chamber is a large, it has a large seated statue of Buddha, as you may see in the picture in the previous page, and it is carved out of single piece of granite. The Buddha statue is all seated on the lotus pedestal. Overall, the layout is designed to reflect Buddhist cosmology of the universe. The antechamber symbolizes the entrance to the world of Buddhism. The main chamber represents the earthly realm, and the Buddha chamber represents the spiritual realm of the enlightenment. The intricate carvings of the sculptures found throughout the grotto reflect the Buddhist belief and provide a visual representation of Buddha's teaching. So dome of Sakuram is the I think is the most dominant part of the architecture. Yeah. So according to Buddhist architecture by Hu Pok-le, the dome of Sakuram is a remarkable engineering achievement due to its complex multi-carved surface and the fact that it was carved from a single piece of granite. Thinking about the Firenze's Duomo, it was built in 15th century, and Sakuram was built nearly 700 years earlier. From a structural perspective, the circular ceilings of the main hall is notable feature of Sakura. As the world's only artificial stone temple, Sakuram applied the advanced construction techniques, particularly in the design and the construction of the dome. And the dome was constructed ingeniously with 360 interlocking stones. It is covered by the round stone disc engraved with the lotus flowers and was made of 1,000 stones, weighing about 20 tons. Sakuram's ceiling structure, Sakuram's dome structure is a unique form that combines the basic framework of the dome structure with a special balance mechanism of weight called keystone. keystone reinforces the weakness of the dome structure. These keystones extend outwards beyond the ceiling of the dome, serving as a lever to offset the force transmitted from the upper stones to the lower stone. So this is what makes Sokuram's unique creativity stand out. Therefore, in the ceiling structure of Sokuram, the stones cannot fall individually downward unless the lower stones collapses first. And the smaller artifacts is Hwangboksa's golden statues. They are a significant Buddhist artifact in Korean history. It is believed to have been made during the King Gyeongdeok period in 8th century. There are two statues. One is standing and one is sitting. The standing statue is about 14 centimeter tall, and the sitting statue is about 12 point half centimeters tall. They show how precise the metalworking technology in the era was. It is made of bronze and covered with a layer of gold using the technique of gilding. So the statue depicts Amitabha Buddha, the principal Buddha in Pure Land Buddhism, sitting on lotus throne with his hands in the Dhyana Mudra or meditation posture. The intricate details of statue, including the folds of the robes and the facial features, demonstrate the skills and artistry of the Silla era metalworkers. The seated Buddha statue, which is called Buljasa in Korean, shows how Buddhist art in the Silla period adopted and developed the style of Chinese Tang Dynasty Buddha statues that were popular internationally at the time. Compared to the accompanying Buddha statue, the standing is characterized by its rich volume and clear facial features, presenting an imposing and dignified appearance. The robes covering both shoulders are much thinner and adhere closely to the body, revealing the curves and fullness of the figure. The horizontal wrinkles on the neck that represent Samdo are clearly defined, and the body details are precisely represented, even down to the lines of the hand, making it appear realistic. The expression of the robes flowing beneath the lotus pedestal is an informant that can be easily seen in the Chinese Tang Dynasty Buddha statue and pedestals. The hand gesture of raising the right hand is a palm facing outward, and resting the left hand on the knee is similar to that of the Amitabha Buddha statue that was popular in the Chinese at the time. The sitting statue shows the peak of the unified Silla's Buddhist statues, which adopted natural and realistic expressions while excluding sensual or exaggerated three-dimensional effects that are characteristic of Chinese Buddhist statues. There are some hidden facts about Sokuram. Sokuram's inner chamber has a unique acoustical design that enhances the sound of chanting. And when a person chants or speaks inside the chamber, the sound waves are reflected off the walls, and the dome creates a unique echo effect. During the unified Silla period, only royalty and the high-ranking officials were allowed to enter Sokuram. highlighting its statue as a sacred and exclusive space. Even now, you cannot enter to the inside of the dome, but you can just watch it from the outside. There's a legend that if you drink a droplet of water that falls on the leg of the Buddha, your illness will be cured. Another hidden fact, the grotto was rediscovered in 1909 by the Japanese archaeologist named Tori Ryujo during Japanese colonization period, who was searching for ancient Korean artifacts. In the 1910s, Japan designated Sakuram as a national treasure. It began to be recognized as a Buddhist cultural heritage with a contrasting nature to Japanese Shintoism, leading to various preservation efforts. One of these efforts was the application of concrete. Believe it or not, with the increase in cement production due to Japan's participation in World War II, in World War One, the country carried out the concrete work using this material to preserve Sakura. The purpose was to protect the interior of Sakura, but it harmed the natural system that allows the absorption of moisture and humidity that allows Sakura to stay preserved as more than 1,000 years. But this work resulted in covering up the long history of traditional architecture techniques of Sakura. So, and now efforts are being made to remove the concrete to create an environment where visitors can experience and appreciate the real beauty of Sakura. So, as a conclusion, as you have heard throughout this podcast, the keywords that runs through the Unified Silla, Sokuram, and golden statues are Buddhism and Buddhist spirit and art and architecture and precision and sophistication. So Buddhist spirit, Buddhist ideology was made as a basis to establish the social system and ethical principles that were applied in the national politics. This Buddhist spirit has had a profound impact on modern society and deeply rooted itself in Korean society even now. The Buddhist spirit of Unified Silla was based on the goal of creating a better world according to the teachings of Buddhism. To achieve this goal, Unified Silla established a social system based on the teachings and philosophy of Buddhism and propagated moral values to the people, pursuing stability and prosperity for the country. And art and architecture. So this Buddhist spirit also greatly influenced the culture, art, and architecture of Unified Silla. For example, the wall paintings and sculptures at Sakuram contain Buddhist teachings and philosophical content, combining deep Buddhist doctrines with the aesthetic sense. These works are highly evaluated as representative of the Buddhist spirit of Silla. And lastly, precision and sophistication are other keywords that goes through the value of Silla. The artisans of the time were skilled in various techniques and such as carving, casting, and metalwork, and they employed these skills to create works of art that were both beautiful and meaningful. The level of the detail in Silla art is remarkable, with the intricate designs and patterns that require a high degree of precision and attention. Shilla's Buddhist art also incorporate elements of nature and symbolism to convey deeper spiritual meanings. For example, lotus flower represents purity and the enlightenment, and they are a common motif in Silla's Buddhist art. These patterns and designs of Silla Buddhist art were meant to evoke a sense of awe and reverence in the viewer, and communicate the spiritual values and teachings of Buddhism. And that was my presentation. Thank you very much.